So we both know that the people we surround ourselves with actually end up influencing our lives and our achievements a lot. And I'm also not here to tell you that you need to let go of the people that you know you need to let go of because they're not serving you anymore and they're actually keeping you back from achieving what you want to achieve. I'm actually here to tell you two amazing news. The first good news is that the fear that you're feeling right now towards leaving those people behind is amazing. It's a thing that you need to go through to have a chapter of crazy improvements, bro, in your life. But the second good news, and I think this is the one that you will like the most, is that this kind of like lonely chapter, as everyone talks about on social media, doesn't have to be lonely. Everyone tells you that you need to leave people behind, and by doing so, you will actually be lonely for a specific amount of time. But that's not true. You can leave people behind and still be very social and actually improve even more by being social. And this video will tell you exactly why. Now, also wanted to tell you that I probably know what you are feeling right now way better than you think. You have to know that about 4 or 5 years ago, as I started realizing that I wanted more from my life than just partying, drinking alcohol, jerking off, and playing video games, I started to actually realize that I had to change. And that's when I started to very slowly, bro, at the beginning, very slowly start, trying to let go of negative habits, trying to look more after my health, trying to improve myself, starting to work out, read a little bit every day, and start building those good habits that were going to improve my life. At the same time, I was facing a big problem. I was looking at my friends and I was realizing that I was actually distancing myself from them. I was relating less and less and less because as I was starting to realize that I really wanted to have a great life and I wanted to live my life at the fullest. I didn't want to be there being caught in bad habits and doing the things that I used to be doing every single day. I realized that they didn't have that same realization. And even though I was telling them, I was scared to tell them at the beginning, but with time I started to tell them, I realized that they simply didn't care. And so I started to feel frustrated and feared at the same time because I realized, bro, if I stay with these people, I will stay in that kind of life. And I didn't want that. And at the same time, I felt like if I leave these people, I will be alone. And I didn't want that too. And so I was, watching all those videos online on the monk mode, the lonely chapter. I knew I had to let these people go. But at the same time, I feared it so much, bro. It came to a point where I was just so far away from them. Like, not better, not worse, just not relating to them anymore. Like, totally different person that I remember exactly. We were together, our little group, we were in town. It was 9, 10, maybe 11 p.m. And I just made this realization of myself. Why am I even here with these people, spending my time any longer? And then I made the most important decision of my life in the past 10 years, and that was to just leave that friend group. Now, by doing that, I basically became lonely. For a whole year, I didn't have pretty much any friends. I didn't have anyone. I was just lonely alone doing my own self-improvement stuff. But the best thing is that you don't have to be that way. Now I tell you, leaving those friends, as said, was the best decision I made in the past 10 years, probably my entire life. It totally changed the course of my life. But you don't have to become lonely as I have been. And here is why. Maybe the podcast, The Modern Wisdom from Chris Williamson, and he really explained this very, very well. Now, you have to realize, or imagine that everyone is kind of like a starship, right? We're all a little starship moving at a different speed, okay? If you have friends, and you have many friends, that basically a group of starship, and you all go at the same speed, what's going to happen? You're all moving at the same speed, you're all going to get in the same direction. Now the thing is this, once you realize that you don't want to be going in that direction or moving at that speed, you're probably going to speed up, right? You're going to go faster. And what's going to happen is that there will come a point where you're going to look back and realize, whoa, they're really far away. They're really far, they're going to be farther and further and further away. And so if I don't want to lose them out of sight, there are two things you can do. You can either slow down and wait for them, or you can just move on. And that's where you're probably at right now. You're probably here, you probably don't relate to those friends anymore, to those people anymore. You kind of know that it's better for you to leave them behind and to move on, to achieve your goals. But at the same time, you fear a lot being lonely. You probably fear a lot because you feel like, I won't have any friends. Who will I talk to? Like, what will I do with my day? You fear deeply being lonely. But at the same time, you have to realize that there are other starships around. They're moving at different speeds. They're going, maybe slower, maybe faster, in the same direction, other directions. And so the key to not have this lonely chapter, even though you're letting behind your old friends, is to be moving with people who are at the same speed or even better. If they're going in the direction that you want to go and they're faster than you, you could catch up. And that would mean that you would basically be having, a chapter of really fast improvement, because you have to catch up with those people if you want to be their friends. And so I noticed this on myself, and I realized this 3 years after having had my lonely chapter, that I didn't actually need to have a lonely chapter. And, a good friend of mine from that old friend group, he made basically a 10 times faster improvement than me by not having this lonely chapter, by letting go of the old friend group, but at the same time starting to move with someone who was moving way faster than him. He basically got around people that were way more successful than him, that were on a totally different level, that were moving way faster, as said, and he just caught up. I was so amazed to hear his story. At the end of the day, bro, you cannot, choose for other people. I know you want the best for everyone, as I want, but if someone is simply not willing to go at your speed, then someday you will have to let them go if you want to move at your speed. Now, if you want to slow down too, then obviously that's also an option, but I probably guess that if you're here, you don't want to do that. You want to achieve your goals, you want to have your dream life and make something out of this life, because you know that you just have one, not two, not three, one shot, bro. And so yeah, they have to be left behind. But at the same time, the good news is that you can actually surround yourself with people who are going at your same speed, in your same direction, or even faster. You can catch up with them. And by doing that, you will improve way faster and don't even end up lonely. And so you don't have to feel bad for other people. I mean, you cannot decide from them. You are here to decide from yourself and living your own life. You can, slow down for them, but I think it's going to be a wasted life. If you know deep down that you want to do it, sometimes you have to let go of people. It's literally as simple as that. Now, to do that and at the same time end up meeting great people that are going to push your progress even more, how do you actually do that? Like, how do you actually end up, getting out of that loneliness and make amazing, positive, great friendships? Well, it's very simple. I'm not going to explain everything in this video because I already made a video going into deep detail into exactly how I personally did it. Just go and check it out if you're interested. If you want to know how to make amazing friendships that are actually pushing you forward in life, go and check it out.